Hello everyone. In this video, we will be studying past simple and past continuous. If you are ready, let's start. We use the past simple for completed actions in the past. For example, we studied together yesterday, or my parents bought me a new pair of jeans. In a positive past sentence, past form of the verb is used. But if the sentence is negative or question, the base form of the verb is used. For example, the students didn't arrive to school on time yesterday. Or, did you watch the news last night? The past simple is also used for completed period in the past. For example, Jason played football for 6 months when he was a teenager, or some people didn't drive their cars for a week to protest the petrol prices. The last usage for past simple is narrating. Look at the examples. He checked his email, then called his boss. She locked the door, got into the car, and began her long journey. Please study the table for a while. You may exactly see the positive, negative, and the question forms of past simple. As I told before, we use verb to, the past form of the verbs in the past sentences. There are two kinds of verbs, regular and irregular verbs. The regular past simple is formed by adding ed to the base form of the verb. There are some spelling variations. Please look at the examples while listening to me. If a verb ends in the letter E, we only put the next to it. Live, lived, arrive, arrived. If a verb ends in a consonant Y, we drop Y and we add IED. For example, marry, married, try, tried. If a verb ends in a vowel and a consonant, we double the consonant and add ed. Stop, stopped, travel, traveled, regret, regretted. The past simple of irregular verbs can be completely different from their base form. Have, had, swim, swam, buy, bought, bring, brought, think, told. Please do not forget to memorize the irregular verb list I gave you. We use time expressions with the past simple to state when something happened. Some common time expressions include the following: last week, last month, at 10 o'clock, in 1942, 10 minutes ago, ages ago, yesterday, on Sunday, on Monday morning, last Christmas, last summer, or when I was a child. Please have a look at the examples. My uncle emigrated to Australia last year. Last summer, we spent our vacation in Capri. Alison won her first medal when she was 6. The World War II started in 1939. Yesterday, she finished writing her last novel and sent it to the publisher. Past continuous is used to describe actions in progress at a particular moment in the past. For example, where were you going yesterday morning? Or to set the scene for a story. It was the first day of spring. The sun was shining, the white clouds were floating in the sky, and the flowers were coming out of the ground. For simultaneous actions in the past, we also use past continuous. Sue was listening to her MP3 player while she was tidying the sitting room. So be sure about the form of the past continuous. We put was were and add verb ing next to it. Let's talk about the conjunctions now. While and as are the most common conjunctions which are used with past continuous. Now, let's try to compare simple past with past continuous. We often use the past simple and past continuous together to describe the relationship between two actions. We can use when, while, and as to describe situations in which one event interrupts another. For example, a bee stung the little girl while she was sitting in the garden. While and as are followed by past continuous. On the other hand, when is followed by past simple. Mr. Johnson was sitting in the airport when he received that important phone call, or while the couple were walking, they met one of their old friends. We can use the conjunctions while and as to join two sentences describing simultaneous actions. For example, as we were talking in the garden, the kids were playing hide and seek. Now, let's do some practice. Please complete the blanks using the correct verbs, either past simple or past continuous. You may pause the video and think for a while. Okay, let's start. Sally was having dinner last night when someone knocked at the door. While a long action must be there, so while I was studying last night, Fred dropped by to visit me. When my husband came home, I was talking to my mother on the phone. Yesterday, Tom and Janice went to the zoo around 1. They saw many kinds of animals. They stayed at the zoo for 2 hours. While they were walking home, it began to rain. So they stopped at a small cafe to have a cup of coffee. What were you doing when I saw you in the library? Were you checking your emails when the police stopped you? Now, try to rewrite the sentences with the given conjunctions. You may think for a while. Okay, let's get started. We packed our suitcases and then left for the airport. So, the answer will be when we packed our suitcases, we left for the airport. Two actions coming together one and another. Judy walked down the road. She saw an accident. So while Judy was walking down the road, she saw an accident. I was in the middle of studying. The guests arrived. So when the guests arrived, I was studying. My father was in the garden watering the flowers. It started to rain heavily. So as my father was watering the flowers, it started to rain heavily. I was with Jim chatting. We heard a loud noise. While I was chatting with Jim, we heard a loud noise. Sandy was busy with cooking. The doorbell rang. When the doorbell rang, Sandy was cooking. That's all for this lesson. See you in another video.